replay. Don't worry about what they say. Even the hands on a broken clock, I write 2 times a day. Stay on the grind, no delay. Lay back cause I'm on my way to detonating. I'm taking anything that stands in my way. Like tick, 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 ba-boom, boom.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Renegade Operative here, coming at you one more freaking time with yet another gaming impressions video. First off, I'd like to mention that I feel absolutely, positively, 100% torn on this beta that I've played during the initial recording of it. Let me just give you some brief perspective before I name the game in question. I have a bit of an elusive affinity on car combat games, or extreme racing games in general. For the most part, not a lot of individuals know about my love and respect for what is put on the shelf with these bouts of vehicular manslaughter. My interest for the genre did eventually dwindle just a little bit when the PS2 era commenced, because as with some particular gamers, our interest tends to fluctuate over time as certain genres or newly teased releases tend to grow more prevalent than the typical norm that we're used to. Sometimes people have an open mind to what they play, but this wasn't exactly the case for me in the past. I used to be obsessed with car combat games, and keep in mind that we aren't in the golden ages anymore. Good car combat games seem like such a rarity when it comes to the modern age. I went from car combat games to a lot of third-person shooters overnight, so I missed out on a lot of things like Twisted Metal Black, and I also started to miss out some things on the 7th generation like MotorStorm, to coin 2 really good car combat franchises or 2 really good extreme racing game franchises. They are literally household names to a lot of people at this point in time. So, enough about the past. Let's fast forward to 2015, where Sony decides to get the guys together for a bonfire with some hookers and some smokes, where they tease the idea of making a PS4 sequel to Hardware Online Arena from the PS2 days, and it just gets created in mind with a lot of sluggish conventions still intact within the modern ages that can only be described as equivalent as a finely tuned, bland, tasteless piece of stale white bread that has been rotting in the corner for over a year. This is my first impressions of the sequel to Hardware Online Arena, aptly dubbed Hardware Rivals, and I have to be completely honest with you, I did not appreciate anything that this soulless game tried to accomplish, even after reigniting my interest into car combat games that I wanted to see done this year. Before I get into the core of what is actually really supremely terrible about it, I'm going to outline some of the basic features. The good concepts, the bad concepts, the ugly concepts, the worst. But we'll start off with the most noticeable concepts that you'll see when you boot up the game. The first thing I noticed, which is very important, is that you are limited to 2 automobiles of destruction within the beta. I'm not sure if the full game is going to have more unlockables. They should, but I'm going to explain the cars. The Wraith is basically like a compact Jeep with some extra swiftness under the hood so you can get around the areas much faster. The Predator is akin to a Panzer tank that can deal out plenty of hurt, but it is just slow on the asphalt, and if you really don't like slow automobiles and car combat games, then you're gonna have a bad time. You can switch up the skins and drivers to a preset but stylish degree, which is always good because I always love it when everyone else looks different from each other and not the same old bland colors as before. The game has challenges where you can perform certain tasks indicated by the description, such as long jumps of hang time, or you can ramp off certain cargo bays. Mostly it's some boring stuff, but at least it's something else to do instead of just your typical old deathmatch. But the meat of the beta was certainly online deathmatch, and it's currently limited to quick deathmatch where you can just hop right in the fray, or there's attrition which is like a free-for-all in a sense where everyone's the target. Naturally, you have to survive and kill for 3 rounds before a victor is crowned. This is where we dive into one of the roughest aspects that I played with hardware rivals, and arguably one of the most disappointing: the gameplay. The gameplay felt very slow to me. It felt very sluggish. It felt very wooden. And when I was playing this, I felt like I just wanted to put the controller down and delete it off my PS4 forever. When I'm playing a car combat game, I don't expect to be moving around like I'm knee deep in sugar molasses. It's just an odd and janky feeling when we got deeper and more prevalent into the combat. And another problem that I can note is that you cannot aim upwards. You cannot aim downwards to hit someone. That means if an opposing enemy is high on an aerial plane, then good luck trying to correlate all your fire to him. You're going to be praying, you're going to be wasting ammo, and you're going to be dealing with the finicky auto-targeting system. Oh, let's segue into that. Let's segue into the aiming of this game. The mini turret is also slow. It's slow like I'm an old man hopped up on Viagra, but I got my cock cut off at the wrong moment. Sweetie, it shouldn't fucking feel this way. It shouldn't play that way, and it shouldn't be this way. It's like a fuck you that you cannot aim this direction, and you cannot aim that direction. Oh wait, there's a guy over here. You have to deal with him. The aiming's all over the place. I'm trying to hit someone in front of me. I see him in front of me. Why is it aiming to the incoming car on the left that I don't want fuck all to deal with? That's bullshit. That is bullshit. That is complete bullshit with the way I explained that. Once again, the slow auto-targeting just leaves too much to be desired. I wasn't going to compare this to Twisted Metal in the back of my mind. I just wasn't. I just felt that it was unfair due to the fun factor of that game being so high, it being great, it being actually great to play, and it being just so fast and furious. But since it's an obviously better game in this genre overall, I have to mention that they got the targeting right in Twisted Metal. All you have to do is get right behind someone with the auto targeting and it does its job. Done deal. You got a bead. In this game, you almost question what the fuck is going on. Why is my ridicule aiming to like 4 fucking cars? I'm just trying to kill the immediate danger and it's not working. So that's out of the question. The aiming is just all over the place. It's stupid. So we already know that, right? Another thing that I find terrible is that you just can't seem to stack power-ups, which would have been a huge improvement instead of just blowing your load with this tiny little machine gun after a critical hit. I'm telling you, I had instances where I ran out of ammo and I die immediately because of the frustration of trying to chase someone down with a little ass machine gun after he got 3 gold missiles in the back. It's insane. I should be able to stack missiles, I should be able to stack grenade launchers, I should be able to stack neons for my trouble. But no, I can't, and I'm just left foraging and stuck to my own devices after a power-up is used. Oh, another good thing about this game is that if you pick up another power-up and since you cannot stack it, then it immediately goes to that power-up you just picked. So you might have 5 grenade launcher rounds or whatever, and then you pick up a missile round, you only have 1 missile. You see what I mean by stacking up power-ups? But well, you know, since this game doesn't have stacking power-ups, that was never a good thing to begin with. And I hope you noticed my obvious sarcasm when I said that. But we're going to move on to what is left with this game that I did not like. And some of the spawns in this game seem downright busted, just due to the implementation of area of effect power-ups, for example. On the temple level, it's quite easy for a player to get killed by a pulsating red fury dubbed the Fire of the Ancients. Once it's utilized, these unique power-ups are mostly tied to a timer, so you have to drive around, you have to look for some safe ground before the eventual fallout, right? The problem is that you get routinely killed and you can spawn into these AoEs and it's an instant death that you can do nothing about. So I was thinking to myself, if you spawn as a white outline in this game, because that's what usually happens when you spawn back into the field, you're a white outline. I figure you would be given a few seconds of invisibility. This is not true. This is a falsehood. I've seen that this game definition of safe areas and invisibility have been nothing but flaky, and I die every single time I try to take refuge in something. And another problem that I have with this game is some weapons can be overpowered in a lot of aspects. I remember I got EMP'd, and once again with the Twisted Metal comparisons, I got EMP'd and I could not break out of it in this game. In Twisted Metal, you get EMP'd, you have the opportunity to mash the buttons until you're free. You're not just stuck there for like 10 to 20 seconds waiting for your death. I'm serious about that. And obviously, some fits of balancing need to occur to make this game readily fair and good. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm really, really sorry. I will admit, a good thing about this game is it has a nice cartoony look. That's all I can say for it. I really didn't like it that much. In the end, I tried. I tried repeatedly to enjoy this game with randoms. I tried repeatedly to enjoy this game with friends, and the most I got out of Hardware Rivals was it just being a flash in the pan. Don't believe the hype when people say, this is Twisted Metal 2.0 or this is Rocket League 2.0. I can tell you that if I were to just rate this game alone compared to my Rocket League review, which got like a 4, this would probably get like a 2 out of 5. I'm dead serious. I did not have as much fun with this game as Rocket League, and Rocket League is not a card combat game. It's basically you're putting the ball into the goal, and I had much more fun with that game as opposed to this one. It's far from enjoyable. It needs work. It's very, very rough. It's very, very lackluster. And basically, if I were to mention this to someone on my list of upcoming games this year that I wanted to play on the PS4, to see what the PS4 had to offer, Hardware Rivals would definitely be a lump of stagnant coal under the Christmas sock, never to be seen or touched again. Fix this game. Bring some life to it. That's all I ask. Let me stack power-ups. Let me aim properly. Increase the speed maybe just a little bit because it feels a little bit stiff with the aiming. I think a speed increase might make it a little more enjoyable, but I'm just sitting here probably nitpicking now. So this is my first impressions of the Hardware Rivals beta. I'm sorry if I sounded a lot angry, but I do think that this genre does need a lot of good games into the mix and not a lot of lackluster games like this one. So I'm going back to play Rocket League. You guys fucking take care.